from gentleman Brian, who says, I think it's important to identify what kind of streamer you want to be.
Yes.
How long do you have to know what kind of streamer you want to be once you start streaming?
I feel like, I mean, I had no idea when I started streaming what I wanted to be. Like I said, I literally was just like, maybe people will watch me play Stardew Valley. And then people did. And then I think it was like the first week that I noticed like streaming games is cool, but I have the opportunity to create like a community here. And like really make that happen myself. And so I kind of knew I wanted to be like a community focused streamer, but even then, like it took me like now I'm pretty focused on Sims and simulation games, but it took me at least 6 months to know that that was where I was going to end up.
It can change too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, Twitch is changing, so like I don't know, it can be hard to, even if you have one thing you've been doing for 2 years, you might have to change it because you never know what's gonna
absolutely.
happen.
Like,
you know,
don't ignore it, but don't let it like stress you out too much, especially if it's not like you need to grow your stream right now. Just take some time, see what works for you, what you have fun with. Like my community, I call the Cat Cafe.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I didn't even know my stream was going to be about cats when I started streaming. And then like we kind of just started talking more and more about my cat specifically and everybody else's cats. And then one day I was like, just wait, my stream should be called the Cat Cafe, Coruscating's Cat Cafe. It's perfect. And it wasn't like I'd been sitting there thinking about it. It just came to me.
I mean, I think you have a couple.
That's a really good point.
What's that?
No, I was saying it was a good point. I was gonna start talking, but you go first.
Okay. You got a couple of things, right? One, it's important to have. I'm intentionally avoiding using the word like vital or necessary. I think it's important to have an identity for your stream while maintaining a malleability for the surface elements so that you can change and keep up with stuff. But what allows you to, people can connect with you when there are reliable elements, consistent elements, and that can be the core identity of your stream, even if surface things change. I start doing launch events for AAA titles. I stop doing launch events for AAA titles. I start doing contests. I stop doing contests. All those things, like all of these surface elements can change like the wind as long as people come in and they know roughly what they're going to get, what the attitude and atmosphere of the channel is going to be, right? And that is part of the identity. Much like with me, myself, I can change my beard, I can dye my hair, I can change my clothes. But when you talk to me, are you going to get the same person? Yeah, that's sort of part of the thing. Can I go to a fancy party in a tuxedo? Sure. Can I go down the street and slum it? Sure. Same person at the end of the day. You don't have to know going into it who you're going to be, what that is going to entail. And
I honestly
change.
Think it's very hard to like predict or plan that sort of thing. Like, I think
absolutely.
much of that is discovering as you go. Like when I started streaming, I know what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do it because of community.
Yeah.
But I didn't know all the memes that exist in the channel or the person that I become or the games that I play. I mean, that just happened after doing this, throughout the 4 years that I've been doing this. When I started streaming, I was very quiet, very, very timid. And now I'm like the opposite pretty much. And I've just like changed as a person. So I think someone touched on the fact that Twitch is always changing and streaming is always changing. There's no need to be like, I am this type of streamer. Like, this is like 3 keywords about me. Like, I don't even think that's necessary. I think it's just figuring out who you are and what works for you as you do it.
Some streamers really can incidentally get away with not ever clearly identifying what type of stream they want for themselves. I feel like it can accidentally happen because of who you are. You just end up flowing into having a stream that reflects what you would want if you did sit down and plan it. For me, I don't like taking chances. That's not my kind of jam. I literally I have documents from before I started streaming of crafting the type of stream that I wanted. What do I actually want to get out? Like, it's a whole list of stuff that I did on 3 airplane rides out of 4, fourth when I relaxed. It's where I get my best work done, planning out the type of stream that I want to have, which included the personality of the stream, the personality that I wanted to bring to it, things I wasn't willing to give up or sacrifice that were going to be necessary elements of the stream, philosophical discourse, things like that, being able to have real talk stuff. And that, for me, that was really important, but it would be a silly recommendation for me to say that everybody should do that. I think you can benefit from trying to plan it out, but
for sure
could go backward, because you can overplan that kind of stuff too and find yourself in a really bad position where you're like, oh, I have to be this kind of person because that's what I said I was going to be on stream. And then you're destroying the fun because you put too rigid a boundary on it.
I think it can depend too on like just who you are as a person, where you are in life.
Sure.
Like I started streaming when I was 22. Like I barely graduated college, so discovering what I want my stream to be about has been just as much discovering like what I want my life and myself to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too, people are very resistant to change, and sometimes you can't let that stop you from making changes that you want to change, because you know, sometimes you'll shave your beard off and a bunch of people will go like, oh, why did you do this? But they'll get over it in like a couple
I know.
It's like, you know, just don't get too worried if you're trying to rebrand or make a big change and people are initially resistant. People just don't like change. They're people.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. Like, if you're miserable playing Fortnite 24/7, even though that's like what got you popular, like that's like do what makes you happy. And like, I mean, you can definitely make changes without like sacrificing